Star Wars is well known for its lightsabers, so let's take a look at some of the best lightsaber designs from the galaxy far, far away. Every Star Wars fan has probably wondered what their lightsaber would look like, but what about the designs already existing in the Star Wars universe? Starting off is the Inquisitor's lightsabers. Introduced in Star Wars Rebels, the Inquisitor's lightsaber stands out for its unique hilt, which allows the saber's twin blades to rotate at a rapid speed, giving the Inquisitors an advantage over their enemies. The weapon featured a ring emitter which could partially detach from the cylindrical hand grip in the center, allowing the twin blades to rotate rapidly without effort from the wielder. For a Jedi hunter like the Inquisitor, this function likely served as a way to intimidate or frighten opponents as well as deflect any form of direct attack. On some occasions, this function is known to catch opponents off balance. However, this is also the weapon's primary weakness, as a lightsaber-wielding opponent could simply permanently separate the emitter itself and sever the weapon in half, as was demonstrated by Darth Vader during his first duel with the Inquisitor and Kanan Jarrus during his final duel with the Inquisitor aboard the Sovereign. This is due to the hilt consisting of a non-lightsaber resistant alloy or metal. Taris Anubi was an elderly Jedi investigator introduced in the Clone Wars. He helped Ahsoka find and recover her own stolen lightsaber while giving her helpful advice along the way. For a large part of the episode, Terra never wields or mentions his own lightsaber, but at the story's climax we see him at last wield it. Revealing it's been hidden in plain sight all along, his lightsaber was built into his walking cane. His lightsaber doubled as a cane walking stick due to his advanced age. Designed to be as much of a weapon as a reinforcement for his gnarled frame, Anubi only exposed the duplicity of his stick when armed combat was a necessary course of action. When needed, he would activate his lightsaber by separating the handle and collar from the shaft to produce a pale blue beam of plasma. Up until the Phantom Menace, we've never seen a double-bladed lightsaber before. While the concept in itself is already awesome, the lightsaber's design helps add to Maul's intimidation factor and proves to have devastating capabilities, such as Maul using both blades to his advantage to press a fatal attack against Qui-Gon. Darth Maul fabricated his double-bladed lightsaber out of necessity. Sent to the Juntara system to assassinate the reclusive Jedi Master Ciolo Urmanka, Maul found himself unable to physically compete with a warrior. Their initial bout ended with Maul being batted across the face with his enemy's force-imbued staff and then disarmed. Knowing that he couldn't beat his opponent through martial prowess, Maul fell back on strategic know-how, resolving to surprise his opponent. Returning to his ship, Maul drew on his Sith schematics he had at his disposal. Fabricating two separate lightsabers, wielding the weapons together, Maul created his own lightsaber. As Maul's lightsaber was composed of two weapons with connected pommels, they both possess identical designs. Directly below the beam emitter and the projection plate for both weapons was the modulation circuitry and the activator. Next to the activator was a control lock and a small ridge hand grip. Maul took considerable pride in the fashioning of the crystals for his weapon. Creating a set of 4 synthetic lightsaber crystals in the compression furnace, he went in deep meditation for 4 days using the Force to control and monitor the formation of the crystals. Ezra's first lightsaber was an original and ingenious creation. It had a blaster built into it that could stun assailants. He spent several weeks building his lightsaber after receiving a Kyber crystal in the Jedi Temple on Lothal. The weapon, which was built out of spare parts donated by the fellow members of the Ghost Crew, was a lightsaber blaster hybrid. When in lightsaber mode, the weapon had an adjustable blade and could be used in combat. Blaster mode was set to stun and was built as a result of Bridger's lack of skill in deflecting blaster fire with his blade. After being rescued, Kanan Jarrus borrowed this weapon to fight the Grand Inquisitor, using it and his own lightsaber to defeat him. Darth Vader would destroy this weapon in a duel with Ezra Bridger during the mission to Malachor. Ezra later replaced it with a green-bladed one. We're never going to forget the creative genius behind the out-of-the-box design that Ezra's first lightsaber brought to the table. Count Dooku is a gentleman's villain. He has a certain brand of elegance and sophistication to everything he does, so it's only fitting for his lightsaber to be the same. Dooku's lightsaber is unique for its curved hilt, which honestly gives him more control for his actions, and it adds an extra layer of style to Dooku's overall aesthetic. It allowed Dooku greater finesse and precision in combat when lunging or slashing at an opponent. This was done by Dooku as he considered himself a sophisticated duelist, often able to use his lightsaber under the control of only one hand and against multiple opponents. The weapon was built for the purpose of lightsaber combat, and the Sith Lord carried it with him in numerous battles during the Clone Wars, a conflict he and his master orchestrated from both sides. In his final bout, Dooku lost his Sith lightsaber to the Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker once he was defeated in a duel aboard the starship Invisible Hands. Skywalker used Dooku's own weapon to behead the Sith Lord and end his life. The Temple Guards were anonymous Jedi who protected the Jedi Temple. They were an intimidating group and their faces were rarely seen thanks to the masks they wore. Most guards used saber staffs, a longer variation of the double-bladed lightsaber. They carried lightsaber pikes, thick double-bladed lightsabers that produced a yellow blade. Each lightsaber was assigned to the guards in order to maintain anonymity in their ranks. Some guard sabers even had a hinged hilt, the design seen in The Rise of Skywalker with Dark Rey wielding a hinged saber staff. The Darksaber, built by Tar Vizsla, a Mandalorian Jedi, the Darksaber was a legendary weapon, unique in that it resembled a dagger more than so a usual lightsaber we've seen before. as well as the black color of this blade. It was an ancient black-bladed saber, which had a unique blade shorter than most lightsabers and was shaped like a traditional sword. Its overall profile was distinctly Mandalorian with an angular pommel, handguard, and slit-shaped blade emitter. The sound emitted by its blade was also higher pitched than other lightsabers. The Darksaber had a crystal which served as a conduit for force energy. The wielder's thoughts and actions guided the blade's current of power, with the blade often producing an electrical effect in response to the heightened emotional state. The Darksaber was also capable of parrying a blow from a lightsaber, with the blades being drawn to each other in almost a magnetic pull. Like other typical lightsabers, the Darksaber could not cut through Beskar. It was respected by the Mandalorians as a symbol of leadership of House of Vizsla, and later Death Watch. According to Mandalorian custom, one can only obtain the Darksaber by defeating the previous owner in combat. Should they have claimed it in any other way, their claim was considered illegitimate. However, Bo-Katan did receive the Darksaber from Sabine Wren without a fight and was accepted by the other clans. The Darksaber has become a key symbol for Mandalorian-based episodes in both Star Wars Rebels, The Clone Wars, and The Mandalorian, and is one of the most iconic weapons existing in current canon. When Ahsoka Tano was reintroduced in Star Wars Rebels, it had been some time since we last saw her in The Clone Wars, and that time was represented in her sleek new character design with her matured personality and lightsabers. Ahsoka's two lightsabers were the color of dazzling white, noting her lack of association with either the Jedi or Sith. They were special in the sense that the kyber crystals used to make them were originally bled for an Inquisitor's saber. In the Ahsoka novel, Ahsoka cleansed the crystals and built her new sabers as she began her new chapter in her life. The lightsabers, which had white blades and curved hilts, replaced the lightsaber she used before leaving the Jedi Order during the Clone Wars, which Ahsoka had abandoned in order to fake her death to the Galactic Empire after the Siege of Mandalore. Ahsoka obtained the kyber crystals used in these lightsabers 1 year after the end of the Clone Wars, retrieving them from a lightsaber of the Sixth Brother, an Inquisitor she had killed during the Imperial occupation on Rada. Though the crystals originally emitted a red blade, she purified them with the Force, turning them white. The hilts of the lightsabers were originally created from pieces of scrap metal that Ahsoka had acquired over the years since the fall of the Republic, but were later modified to be more functional and decorative. She first used the lightsabers in the Battle of Rada just after she constructed them, rescuing her friend Keaton Larde and covering the escape of the population of Rada onto the arriving evacuation ships. Later, after introducing herself to the Ghost crew and the rebel Phoenix Cell, Ahsoka fought various Inquisitors with the weapons, before she dueled the former Sith Lord Maul and her former master Darth Vader on Malachor. After the events of the Sith world, Ahsoka Tano continued to carry her two lightsabers throughout the Galactic Civil War and beyond.